just battling this headwind down the straight, and you really need to get in the slipstream. So that's obviously going to play into the tactics for this race. And there on pole position is Angel Piqueras. We heard from him in the pre-show, and he's obviously feeling well on form. He's feeling confident. He told me after qualifying, he said, I'm going to try and break away, but I really don't know that I can do it. And of course, that's where the slipstream comes in. If he's got to go out on his own, maybe he just doesn't have the pace.
Yeah, quite possible indeed. Over a year ago, we just saw him burst onto the rookie scene, taking Bermuda all the way to the line in that first race, but, well, not quite, because he actually ended up crashing out of turn 3, as we talked about in the pre-show, and then he couldn't compete in race 2, but he knows this place very well. He's very, very fast here, but this rider, I think, was my biggest surprise of yesterday, Peter.
Yeah, I think he shook everybody, didn't he? But it was an absolute stunner. And he admitted, he said, look, I nearly crashed 6 times in that lap. He said, I just gave it everything. And he said, I'm going to try and do the same thing in the race. I don't know how many laps I can do it. He said, but I think I can run with the front guys. I'm just going to go as fast as whoever is in front of me.
I've heard of things like from the gravel track to the top step of the podium, but I've not heard of chickenpox to here,
no.
Which is what, of course. There we go then. Angel Piqueras starts from pole position from Russo Muli and Casey O'Donnell. Then you have Lorenzo Luciano, Ferrandis and Salmela finishing up the second row. Carpate, another one of the rookies this year as well, ahead of Hakim Danish, and Max Keeler, one of the favourites for the title this year. Elio Shea there, 8-ball ready, a naughty boy. Yesterday he's got a long lap penalty to serve in this race. He starts from 10th ahead of Sherrill and Carter Thompson. Kevin Farkas, Guido Pini and Cormac Buchanan round out the row just behind them. Then you've got Mazzera, Rosenhaler and Morelli, Ruda, Rollstone and Aditama, then Reece Stevenson, Leo Ramestorfer, Shinya Izawa and Alexander Enriquez. No Dodo Boggio, he suffered an injury back in testing. He did try to attempt to ride yesterday, but decided to sit these races out.
Yeah, he's got a really badly swollen ankle, hasn't he? He can't really sort of operate the equipment properly, so he's got to sit this one out. Which is a great shame. As you pointed out, you're in 9th position, Maximo Chies, the 15-year-old Spaniard. I think was 3
who's actually having a little bit of trouble there, is he? As we see on the screen, he's getting going now.
Oh, he's got it going. Yeah, well, that's. I'm glad he's managed to get that going. And he was quite distraught after practice. He really, he lives his feelings through his eyes and that. And he said, look, I was just unlucky. I just couldn't find the slipstream. I really couldn't. Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. He's only 9th fastest, and of course he if he gets in the race, that's not going to be a problem for him, I'm sure.
Well, absolutely. If you cast your minds back a year ago when we had the first race of 2022, actually qualified, won the race from 13th on the grid in race 2. He did, of course, benefit from Jose Rueda running onto the green, but he still would have been 2nd place. So nothing is impossible here. I chatted to Cormac Buchanan about that very thing earlier on as well. Asked what happened to him in qualifying. He said, well, he was running a tow service. It felt like everybody was latching onto him. He couldn't catch a wheel, but he thinks that actually from 15th you could do some damage here in the race today.
And of course, Cormac comes, the Kiwi comes to us from New Zealand, having won both the 300 and 600 Supersport Championships in the New Zealand over the Southern Hemisphere summer. And that 600 Supersport Championship is super competitive.
Yeah, that was a really impressive off-season, in inverted commas, that Cormac had, wasn't it? Extremely impressive indeed. That's not really off-season at all. He's just race-ready, or unlike everybody else pretty much, I would say.
Well, that's right. He flew literally from the final round. I think he even missed the last race in the 300 series or something to get on the plane on the Sunday to get into Europe in time to test here for the pre-season test. And that was after breaking that records at all the tracks in New Zealand as well.
It's a very fair commitment, isn't it? You see in the centre of your screens there, Eddie O'Shea, the number 8. He's about to do a run through of the long lap penalty. That's why he stuck his leg out there. He took out a couple of riders in the qualifying section. He gave himself a bit of an injury, a hole in his arm no less. Pretty grim stuff if you go check out his Instagram, but he's still fighting through. That pain barrier today, he says it's not hampering him on the bike position, but because of that move, he will have a long lap penalty to serve in this race.
Well, at least he's recovered from that, was it a mountain bike injury or something that, he distressed one of his major veins, and he's had vein replacement. it was a silly sort of injury.
Yeah.
It was really affected him all the way through last year. I think he missed something like 6 races towards the end of the last year.
He hasn't done a race in 8 months or something, he said.
No, and so that's why he was only 16th in the Rookies Cup last year. But he got 3rd in Jerez and Mugello, so he can obviously run the pace, and now he should be fully fit, but he's got to deal with that long lap penalty.
Well then, I hope the riders aren't as nervous as us in the commentary box. I always get pre-race jitters, so I can't imagine how they must be feeling ahead of this first outing of 2023. Any predictions last minute?
Well, I'm just going to watch Rousset Moula. You know, he says he's going to go as fast as anybody in front of him, so I can't wait to see that. That's fantastic. So
we got a bit of a problem for the number 5 in the
that's
background
Leo
there.
Ramostel for the 18-year-old Austrian.
Oh, there we go. I think his bike stalled. He's going to have to start from pit lane, I'm afraid.
Yeah, so that's very unfortunate for him, because not only has he got to get into pit lane, he's got to get it started, and the other guys will be disappearing over the horizon.
Well, that'll be his race chances done and dusted. But let's see how we get on here then.
Right, so 14 laps of Redbull MotoGP Rookies Cup action. The long, long shadows here in Portimao. The lights go out, and who gets a good start? It's all front row well away, and it's Rousset Moula, the South African. The South African leads on the run down into turn 1.
What a start that was from Rousset Moula. Go faster than anybody in front of you. Well, that is certainly fits the bill. He covers his line just about, with Angel Piqueras looking up the inside, but he leads just about to turn 3, but Piqueras moves up the inside.
But drifts wide there. Does Rousset come back underneath him? Who
He
is
does.
it? It is the South African who leads going up the hill. Fantastic stuff. 2 lead changes already in this race.
Like a man possessed is the number 11. That is absolutely awesome. I've no idea where he's finding this kind of energy from. He was in bed for most of the week leading up to this with chicken pox.
And it's Rico Sonella, the 15-year-old Finn, who's up into 3rd place already. Oh, brilliant stuff. And he's looking
from the Malaysian rookie this year, but he was chased in that picture you could see by the 83 of Alvaro Carpe, your eventual 2nd place finisher. But earlier on as well, you had the pink helmet of Max Quiles battling up front too, as he came through from the 3rd row of the grid. Unfortunately, his race came to a premature end. He would have been livid about that, but that will come a little bit later on in this highlight package. Around about here, as the number 94 of Guido Pini sended it up the inside, pushed Quiles into the gravel, and unfortunately down he went. Another long lap penalty for the European Talent Cup champion last time around. That was Rhys Stevenson checking out of the race. Unfortunately, the Lincolnshire lad will be disappointed with that, and this was the battle to the line between Piqueras and Carpe. Piqueras deciding with this move, this is the time I'm going to check out. I'm not leaving it to chance, leaving it to a last lap final corner battle. I am going to take this all the way to the line, stamp my authority all over the Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup, and that was that, the tale of Saturday. We'll see you tomorrow, Sunday, early on Sunday morning for race 2. Catch you then. Let's get a look at these final results then. 26 minutes of racing, and this is what it brought us. A victory for Piqueras, Carpe in 2nd, Salmela in 3rd. O'Gorman just 2 seconds off the win in 4th place from Hakim Danish, Alberto Ferrandez and Marcos Ruda. Lots of Spaniards in the top 9 here. I haven't seen that for quite a while. Rousset Moula was 8th ahead of Daniel Scheril in 9th place. Lorenzo Luciano from 4th on the grid up to 10th at the flag. Marco Morelli, what a finish that is for the Argentinian rider from 18th on the grid. Sensational stuff. Guido Pini 12th from Jacob Rollstone and Cormac Buchanan. RB Adatama, he'll be a little bit disappointed with 15th, I suspect. Amari Mizera overcame 2 long lap penalties to finish 16th. Rosenhaler 17th from Shinya Izawa. Alexander Enriquez came home in 19th place, 53 seconds off the win. Carter Thompson, Max Quiles and Leo Say.
Yeah. Nicely 25 points, that's what counts, of course, and that's what really Angel Piqueras cares about.
Yeah, exactly that. And as you can see, it's the classic championships of denominations and running order in the standings as well. 5 points separate first and second, 4 second and third, 3 third and fourth, etc, 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 and further down. But the last rider with points from today's race was RB Adatama, the Indonesia. You can have a big cheer over in the Far East if you're still awake watching this.
Yeah, and of course we're going to see it and do it all again tomorrow. Just another reminder that you've got to set your alarms early.